Today I'm going to look at breath and how breathing exercises can help you to manage overwhelm, an anxiety attack, those just feelings where you start to feel it kind of bubbling up here. Because we all know that whilst taking some time out to do Pilates is great, there are times when you just feel like, do you know what, I actually can't do that today. Or maybe you've not done any Pilates before and you just want to know a little bit more about how the breathing works. So I'm going to go through that with you today. Before I launch in though, let's talk a little bit about the science of breathing. So yes, in Pilates, we're all about trying to get those big breaths in and slowly breathing out. And I'm sure you've been told before, if you are feeling anxious, slow your breathing down. But I know from someone that struggles with anxiety attacks that sometimes the anxiety attacks happen before I've consciously been able to think about that breath, and then it's physically hard to do. But what that is, it's like your brain is kind of full of carbon dioxide, and that's what you need to get out. So it might even be that going for a really brisk walk will help in that situation. So today, as well as thinking about the breath, we're going to think about taking longer of your out breath. In short, it's more complicated than this, but in short, what I'm hoping for you to achieve through that is that you get all of that CO2 out and get the lovely oxygen in, just to help you feel better. We're going to start standing, and I just want you to start by having a little bit of a loosen up. So we're going to shake out those hands, shake out those shoulders, loosen up through that head. Do this with those shoulders, just let them go, and then just let your feet come underneath your hips so you're grounded into the mat. Spread your toes out here. Now, what's happened to your shoulders? If they're here, everything's come forward and we can't breathe. So how we stand is really important. So if you just let those shoulders come back, I like to imagine I've got my middle fingers at the side seams of my trousers, because what that's going to do is make me here rather than forwards. So even the way you stand is key to enabling you to breathe. You don't want to have those lungs all crushed up. You want to have them opened up. And then if you let your hands come onto your ribs here, let your feet come into the mat, and I want you to feel grounded through the balls of your feet, but then also feel that lift through the crown of your head, and take your time with this. So my hands are on my ribs, and I'm going to breathe in, and as I breathe in, I want to feel my ribs come into my hands, and as I exhale, they're going to come back together. Now, there are all sorts of rules around breathing, but really, I just want you to breathe. And if the only thing that you can feel is those ribs are kind of creating some tightness in your vest or your bra strap, that's what I want you to feel. And then let them come back in together. You might find, and if you're quite tense, you might find those shoulders want to come up and down. All I'd suggest is that you just try and feel there's some heaviness in the shoulders. Keep some space between your ears and your shoulders. And then maybe you'll find then you can focus more on those ribs coming out to the sides, coming back in together. And then let's just count that. We're going to breathe in for 5. And then slowly out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just try that again. And as you exhale, we're going to breathe from the back of your throat. So take that big breath in for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then slowly exhale. So we'll add some movement to that now, and we're going to do that with some really nice spinal movement. So let your hands come out to the sides and let your feet come a bit wider. Again, watch those shoulders don't creep up. I would like you to just start getting the movement. We're going to reach over to the side. We're going to come back in. We're going to reach over to the side. We're going to come back in. And if you imagine your spine is like a staircase, so as you reach, you create little stairs and you come back. And we'll come over and we'll come back. Now, what I'd like you to do first is actually breathe in as we move. So breathe in to reach across. Exhale to come back in. Breathe in to reach across. Exhale to come back in. The reason being, on the in-breath, the ribs open. You're going to create more space through the vertebrae in your spine. Breathe in to reach across. Exhale to come back in, and then let your hands come down by your sides. We're going to stay with the side bend, but now I want you to imagine you're doing this against a pane of glass or a wall, and we're going to breathe in as you reach down to the side. And breathe out as you come back up. Breathe in as you come over to the side. And out as you come back up. And then just slow that down. Think breathing in for 5. Slowly come back up. In for 5. Slowly come back up. And then one of my favorites, we're going to step your feet out a little wider now. We're going to bring this arm up and reach over to the side. And then can you bring your hand to your rib? Breathe into your rib. Breathe in for 5. And on the out breath, maybe come a little further. Up and over. Reach down to the side. This arm comes up. Your hand comes across. Breathe in. Exhale. Let's continue this conversation down on your hands and knees. So my hands are coming underneath my shoulders. Now I want you to think about when you are breathing, whether that's in or out, your spine is much happier to move. So with your hands under your shoulders, I want you to breathe in, allow your tail to come under, so we lift those ribs up. And then on your out breath, slowly lengthen and allow your back to just drop down a little bit. So we're going to open those hips, relax those hips. We're going to breathe in. We're going to breathe out. And then let's take this up to the side. Just like we did when we were standing, bring your arm up. Let this arm come up and over. And then from here, we're going to breathe in. And on your out breath, take that a little further. Big breath in. Let it go. Come back down to your hands and knees. Up to the other side. Bring your arm up and over. We're going to breathe in here. Exhale, lengthen. Breathe in here. Exhale, lengthen. And then back to your hands and knees. And you know I love a twist. And once we add the breath to the twist, it is just delicious. So let's just bring your hand. We're going to thread your hand through. We come to the back of your shoulder. We're going to breathe in. Now you know I love a twist. And once we add the breathing to the twist, it just makes it delicious. So from your hands and knees, join me now. We're going to keep the weight forwards if you can in those hands. Slide this hand through so it's like we're threading the needle. And we twist here. We're going to breathe in. And exhale. Keep looking upwards for me, so you're just gently pressing onto the back of your shoulder and then back up to your hands and knees. Over to the other side, we thread through, we keep reaching, breathe in and exhale. So Pilates and breathing wouldn't be complete without a lovely spine twist. So we are seated and I want you to feel the bony parts of your bottom underneath you. If you'd be more comfortable sitting on a cushion, then do that, because you might find if you're kind of rounded here, you might need to just bring those hips forwards. And that's what we're trying to do. Come onto your sitting bones here. Then we're going to let your thumbs come to your collarbone and your fingertips under your chin. Now in my classes, I always suggest my participants imagine the spine like little tin cans stacked and spaces between each tin can. So this twist is going to kind of create that lovely rotation through your vertebra. So let your shoulders come down. And we're going to breathe in as you rotate. Now, if you look to your back elbow, because that's the way you want to go, and that's the way, therefore, your brain thinks you want to move. So let your eyes do the direction. Breathe in as you rotate. Exhale to come back. Now, this is all about breath. Hence, I'm doing the version where your head is supported. So you don't have to think about how far you're moving around. If you wanted to, a really nice way of doing this, which really opens you up, is to just gently press your head onto the backs of your hands. So you really activate the back of the body and you can breathe in as you rotate. Slowly exhale as you come back in. Breathe into those ribs. And then exhale back in. And then just let your hands come down by your sides, wiggle those shoulders. Walk one hand out and away. Just let this other one kind of relax. Take a nice big breath in. Exhale, slowly back up. We'll come over to the other side. Take that nice big breath in. And there we have it. Permission to stop and breathe. A few of my favourite Pilates exercises and moves that we can put with the breathing that really emphasize that lovely movement through the spine and also allow you to just focus on that movement through your ribs and on getting all that air out. So if all you did today was felt like you breathed out a little slower or just focused on breathing so you're present in your breath, that's exactly what I wanted you to achieve today.